Jerry Jones held court with reporters for almost 50 minutes, but he did not answer the big, fat, simple question we all want an answer to. Does he want Mike McCarthy back?
To feel the moments tonight after a Dolis's home run, after a Valdi's curtain call, what did that mean to you?
The pitcher everybody wants to see on the mound here in Arizona is none other than Jacob deGrom. So much has transpired since Doncic last stepped off the court in a Dallas uniform, and we thought it would only be fitting to sum up the exit of number 77 from the Mavericks in 77 seconds. You paused in a way I've never seen you pause before and spoke about the future and the potential of playing for another team. We're going for it again, Jess Navarez, 4th and 12, episode 2. Welcome into the show. Who cares? Jeff Kolb.
Ethan Herrera.
What you just heard from Kid, a guy that's won it all as a player, was a message sent to his team early on. The title contenders, they do not mess around, even in November.
Yeah, this guy has some nice hardware. Mitch Garver knocked in the first run tonight. How does it feel to be holding this right now?
He was talking about how you are one of the most chill coaches that he has experienced, but at the same time, you can still show the fire when you need to. How do you balance that?
But this really was a scary moment. We were both on the field and the rest of our team when this large piece of metal fluttered down from the roof and nearly hit a couple of ESPN production people.
These moments showed us the power of resilience, the impact of being part of a team, and the true importance of leadership. Not every sports trade in Dallas this year has exactly gone over too smoothly.
I've heard that.
If you look at the basketball team, the Mavericks, of course, it was just over a month ago that they trade away the face of their franchise, Luka Doncic. I was out on the field as Ewers was meeting up with Ohio State players, of course, his former team, after this game, and I could clearly see the moment where the smile switched to the reality of the emotion setting in. Yes, Dad, you can watch with subtitles, but give us some volume, will you?
Let me get this here, Nate.
Free-for-all starts right now. For years, it's been talked about spring football. It hasn't stuck. How is it going to actually survive and thrive long term? Well, if it's going to, right, you have to be invested in all of these little details. What would it take you to evaluate making a head coaching change in season?
The reporter who asked Jerry Jones that question
I haven't even considered that.
at Fox 4 in Dallas.
So you're clear, I'm not considering that.
He's got this whole tweet about his exchange with Jerry Jones.
But you've done it once before.
I wouldn't be a hypothetical in that matter. Do you think I'm an idiot?
So to be clear, Jerry's not thinking coaching change, while saying he wouldn't tell us if he was. I'll let you do the math on that. It's Valentine's Day. In sports terms, it can feel like not hearing your name called on draft day.
You guys still don't have a date?
No.
It's a day that can hurt so good if you're in the city of brotherly love.
For loving the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a day of celebrating.
Sometimes you have to risk it all and give love a true shoddy shot.
This is as big a risk as you can take.
If you're stressed about having a new Valentine's Day obligation, don't worry, as long as you don't forget, it'll be okay.
I don't know if better is the right answer. It's just different.
And if you're fresh off a breakup,
I don't know if we had parting words.
give yourself some sugar and don't stop believing.
I've had some opportunities when I was a much younger man.
It's never too late for love.
I'm ready now.
Free for All starts right now. Sure hope you were feeling the love today. Welcome into Free For All late on a Friday night. I'm Jeff Kolb. Coming up, I ask the great radio voice of the Dallas Mavericks, Chuck Cooperstein, if he thinks the Anthony Davis Mavs, when healthy, could be better than the Luka Doncic version. But before we dive into questionable NBA general managing, I want you to hear from the GM whose team just celebrated winning the Super Bowl. That would be Howie Roseman, who put together another world title roster as the GM working under Philadelphia Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie. Today, the Eagles held their Super Bowl 59 victory parade, celebrating from the Rocky Steps with thousands of fans. During the Cowboys' 29-year Super Bowl drought, Dallas has won just 5 playoff games. The Eagles, on the other hand, in that time, 20 wins in the postseason. Since Roseman took over the Eagles as GM in 2010, Philly has 10 playoff wins, while Jerry Jones, as Cowboys GM in that same span, a whopping 3. This was Roseman today in Philly celebrating his second Super Bowl title.
I bleed for this city! Go Birds!
Meanwhile, the Cowboys were up to something today, finalizing their coaching staff for Brian Schottenheimer in 2025. Dallas has 17 brand new assistant coaches, including 3 new coordinators. Clayton Adams is the offensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator, and Nick Sorensen will be running special teams. Only 5 assistant coaches from Mike McCarthy's staff last season were retained on Schotty's staff. The new coaches will be meeting with the media next Tuesday afternoon. In basketball, no team needed the All-Star break quite like the Mavericks. And if you think that is just because of all the backlash from the fans about the Luka Doncic trade, well, you are drastically overlooking a ridiculous slew of injuries that this Mavericks roster without Luka is dealing with now. The list of wounded Mavs goes like this. Daniel Gafford, right knee injury, suffered this week, reportedly could miss 6 weeks from now. Anthony Davis, left abductor strain, out multiple weeks. Derek Lively II, right ankle stress fracture in January, could be reevaluated next week. That's hopeful. PJ Washington, right ankle sprain. Dwight Powell, Caleb Martin, both with right hip strains. And Klay Thompson, he missed last night's win, listed as having a foot sprain. Despite the injuries and the drama, guess what? The Mavs, they actually have a winning record since trading Luka of 4-3. And that's only having Anthony Davis available to play once. With 56 games in the books now, the Mavs are in position to make the playoffs at the moment, sitting in 8th place in the Western Conference at 30-26. Still, head coach Jason Kidd has never seen anything like this type of injury decimation in his Hall of Fame basketball life.
I've never seen anything like this, Chudder, and that's what makes this group special.
Joined now by Chuck Cooperstein in his 20th season here as the radio voice of the Mavericks. Of course, Chuck, I don't think any of us could have seen the last 13 days coming for this franchise. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty, I'm just curious, your emotions balancing covering this team, having your heart in this team over these last couple of weeks have been what?
Look, I love watching Luka Doncic play basketball. See what's doing with this new team.
I think one aspect of this Luka Doncic trade fallout is that a lot of people are still unclear on the why. Do you anticipate or think that Nico Harrison and Patrick Dumont should answer more questions about the why?
I mean, that's not really for me to say. And, we'll go on from there.
Do you anticipate post-All-Star break that things maybe do cool off from a fan perspective?
I think there's going to be significant dislike right after the All-Star break.
Yeah, that'll be February 25th when we get the first rematch in Los Angeles, Luka against the Mavericks. 2 games in for Luka with Los Angeles. Hasn't been prolific numbers. Of course, he's fresh off of the injury coop. But just for you, seeing him in that uniform, what has that been like?
It freaked me out.
More Mavs talk with Coop coming up in just a moment. Plus, we head out to surprise Arizona and hear from Bruce Bochy, day 3 of Rangers spring training. We'll be right back. Hours after the Stars game let out and late on this Sunday night, the people are still here in utter disbelief. This has been ground zero all day long for Luka Doncic fans mourning here outside the American Airlines Center, all of them gathering here at the base of Dirk Nowitzki's statue. Truly, though, the hurt from this Luka Doncic trade, it extends far beyond Dallas. This is global, and for some Mavericks fans, this is a final straw with this franchise.
He's supposed to have a statue. Dirk got a statue right there. It's supposed to be Luka right there.
Yes, there was anger in the air and on signs everywhere.
You got to sell the team by midnight.
They even had to power wash off the words, "Nico, you bum," from the base of Dirk Nowitzki's statue. The coffin appearance may have won the day on social media.
Why?
But Jose Grimaldo really did treat this like a funeral. He was on the plaza all day long, purely grieving and paying his respects, struggling to read Luka's goodbye post to Dallas without choking up.
Dallas will always be a special place, and Mavs fans will always be special fans. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, Luka.
Had you envisioned a Luka statue?
Yeah, absolutely. He was supposed to get one right next to
right next to Dirk. He's done so much for this city, and that doesn't change no matter where he goes.
But Luka's impact as a Maverick extends well beyond Dallas. Over 5,500 miles away in Ljubljana, Slovenia, it was 6:30 in the morning when the news broke about the trade. What was your first reaction when you saw the news?
Oh, we can curse, so I can't say, to be honest.
Luka Stuzin and Tilen Lamut, who work in Slovenia as NBA broadcasters, have seen the way their country has embraced this city.
Slovenia grew very fond of Texas.
On Sunday, both men found themselves interviewing Luka's father, Sasha, for the first time since the deal.
Ampak mislim, da glih ta neka tajnost, oziroma bom rekel kar strani nekaterih posameznikov, mogoče hidavščina celo, da to pa me osebno boli, ker mislim, da se Luka absolutno tega ni zaslužil.
With the Mavericks divorcing Doncic, Slovenia is dumping Dallas.
We won't be covering Dallas anymore. Everybody hates the Dallas Mavericks right now.
Back in North Texas, Luka's mark lives well beyond the walls of the American Airlines Center. At Project Dallas in Oak Cliff lives one of the 4 murals that artist Juan Velasquez has painted of Luka. This particular one with Doncic next to Dirk. When you look at this mural today, what do you feel?
You know, I feel sad.
Do you think people will want to see those painted over?
You know, that's a good question. And I had talked to the owner, one of the owners of Project Dallas. I don't think he does. And, you know, I think he's going to have a special place, you know, just like Dirk.
In social media terms, the Mavericks have literally lost over 700,000 followers on Instagram. And while some diehards say they truly will remain Mavs fans for life,
I am right now, but I'm hurting.
When it comes to Jose Grimaldo, a season ticket holder, he tells me he is done with this franchise.
But if Luka's not here, I don't want to be a part of it. I really don't.
Jose told me he waited on the list for 2.5 years to get his season tickets, and while he is locked in for the rest of this season, he intends to sell off the rest of his tickets for home games to the Mavericks, and in the summer, he has no intention of re-upping on that season ticket package. In Victory Plaza, I'm Jeff Kolb, Fox 4 Sports.